have a Calvin team coming into this game and coming into this year, obviously with 2 wins last year, trying to build on there, and there's a real possibility here that in their third game that they surpass their win totals from last year. And I truly think that there's a really good opportunity. I'm actually going to make the prediction right now. I truly think that Calvin's going to be 3-0 after this game. And I think there's a few reasons why. Number one is I think this Calvin team is obviously better than they were last year. Number two is Hunter Hogan. Hunter Hogan is a great running back that can do everything that you need a running back to do. He can catch the ball. He's a leading rusher. This is a Calvin team that is averaging over 300 yards on the ground. Almost 360 yards of their total offense, which their total offense is 538 yards per game on average. So obviously, their first game was a complete blowout against Oberlin. Second game was a little bit closer. But this is an offense that is pretty run-heavy. And you got a guy in Hunter Hogan that I think will be a true mismatch for a lot of the teams that they're going to face. And they're going up against a Heidelberg defense that has given up 145 yards on the ground. Now, if you look at what Calvin has done on the ground comparatively to that, you might say, well, that's a lot of difference. But I also don't think that this Heidelberg team has faced a run offense like Calvin, especially a running back like Hunter Hogan. And it's not just solely Hunter Hogan that this Heidelberg team is really going to have to keep an eye on for, because they have a pretty good QB at Calvin that hasn't had to play a ton just because of how not close these games are. They have a guy in Thomas Vaquero. Sorry if I completely botched your name, but he has thrown the ball 50 times. His completion percentage is 62%, 5 touchdowns to 1 interception. He's been great since he's transferred into Calvin, and he really hasn't had to play a ton, especially in the first game because they were so open. And then they've also played 2 other quarterbacks in every single game as well. That's just because of how good this Calvin team has been. Now, I do think Heidelberg is going to be better than the teams that they have faced, obviously. But this Calvin offense with guys like Jude Klunder, he has 9 receptions, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. You have Luke Mitcher-Husen, sorry if I completely botched your name, 8 receptions, 113 yards, 3 touchdowns. This is an offense and a wide receiver room and a tight end room that has been good. And while they have been really run-heavy for the most part, this offense has been good enough in the passing game that it's really going to have Heidelberg respect it. And if they don't respect it, and they stop the run, well, they still have weapons offensively. And I truly don't think that you're going to truly stop this Calvin run completely in this game, just because of what Heidelberg has faced throughout this year. Now, if you look at what this defense for Heidelberg has done pass versus run, they've been a little bit better against the run, so I might see Calvin go a little bit more pass heavy because they've been averaging 247 yards against Heidelberg. Maybe that's something to kind of keep an eye out for. But then you also have to look at what Heidelberg has going offensively, and they've been averaging 39 points a game. Now, they are obviously 1-1. The game that they did lose was a close game, but they put up a decent amount of points. This is a Heidelberg team that, if you look offensively, is different than what this Calvin team is going to be. Offensively, they're a little bit stronger when it comes to passing the ball, 217 yards per game. Running the ball, they do have 173, so they do a pretty good job of mixing the run and the pass. Now, obviously, Calvin really hasn't had to do that, so I would be interested to see if this is a close game, what kind of percentage, what kind of the yards total would look like for each of those. I truly think that this Calvin team will still be pretty run-heavy, or I think that's going to be where Calvin's going to kind of keep an eye on for. And I think if they continue to keep an eye on that just overall, you have to look at just kind of time of possession, because time of possession is going to be really important for this game. And you look at what Heidelberg has done. They've actually had less time of possession compared to the teams that they have faced. Calvin has been averaging about 31 minutes per game with the ball offensively. Heidelberg, that's about what they've given up. They've only averaged about 27 minutes with the ball. So not too much of a difference right there. I think with just the running attack that Calvin has with Hunter Hogan, with the other running backs as well, a couple other guys I can name here real quickly. You have Nick Earls, Caleb Dabowski, a couple of the other guys as well. You don't really see their starting quarterback in Thomas Vaquero. He's more of a pocket quarterback. He might run a little bit. I know he's run for like 65 yards, a total of 52 net. So he has used his legs a little bit, but I think he's going to be more of a pocket quarterback than maybe a quote-unquote dual threat quarterback. So maybe that's going to be something that Heidelberg will be able to kind of address for this game. But I truly think that this Calvin team will get their third win of the year. And I think it really starts with this offense that Calvin has been showing. And defensively, if you look at who's been some of the better players, you really have to point out one guy in Carson Chernerstein. Sorry if I completely botched your name. He's been great. 28 tackles this year, 3 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. This is a guy that has just been an absolute maniac when it comes to defenses. He's just been getting pressure on the quarterback. He has, I believe, 2 quarterback hits. Like, this is a guy that you're really going to have to circle if you're Heidelberg. You're going to have to kind of keep an eye on that. You also have Caden Bolduc. He has 2 sacks on the year, 9 total tackles. Obviously, not really close to what Carson has. But this is a team that gets pressure on the quarterback. And if they continue to do this against Heidelberg, I truly think that this defense is going to cause Heidelberg issues. I think it's not going to allow Heidelberg to do what they want to do offensively, which is pass the ball a little bit more. But again, if you keep Heidelberg's quarterback safe, it's going to be completely fine. Because when he has been safe, Heidelberg has been good at throwing the ball. And you really have to give credit to a guy in Ty Portman that has 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, does have 62% completion rate as well. So he's going to be a guy that when he's given time, he's going to find his open wide receivers. He's going to make the right play, almost averaging 200 yards of offense through the air. And then he'll be able to find his receivers in Aiden Bradshaw, 2 touchdowns on the year. You have Dimitri Peters, 1 touchdown on the year. It's truly going to be a difference between can Heidelberg protect their quarterback versus this pass rush of Calvin, and then can Calvin get the run game going. If Calvin can cause pressure, that's going to be a long day for Heidelberg. If Calvin can run the ball and maybe have a little bit more of a mix between run and pass, I think that might be a long day for Heidelberg and that defense overall. So because of those things, and obviously my prediction I gave early on, I do think Calvin wins this game. I think they end up going into MIAA play undefeated, which is obviously a great start, especially for what they had last year going into the third game 2-0. Obviously losing that game. I think they're going to go into Kalamazoo 3-0 with a lot of momentum going forward, and I think they're starting to build something right there. Might take a little bit, but I think they'll continue to build. I think they have weapons on this offense. I think they have weapons on this defense as well. So, yeah, that's really my preview for Calvin. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Obviously, there will be more Calvin talk coming up. Obviously, we'll give a recap. I'll talk about if I'm right, talk about if I'm wrong. But definitely as MIAA play kind of gets started, there will be more matchups in these conversations going forward. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and comment as well. Please let your friends, family, anyone know about it as well. Appreciate the support, and tune in to the recap for this game and any other episodes I have.